1 second.
And now we have a thumbs up, so whenever
Oh
you are
God,
ready.
what are we going to talk about at the beginning of this episode?
Oh, we'll figure it out.
Ooh, okay.
Don't let's start. This is the worst part. Could believe for all the world that you are my precious little girl. But don't let's start. I've got a weak heart and I don't get around how you get around.
Hi, I'm Becca. Pronoun she, hers.
And I'm Josi, pronouns they, them, theirs.
And
We're your judges. It's By the Cover, a podcast, a polished podcast where the hosts know what they're doing.
I lost any sense of space and time. I didn't know who I was.
Oh no.
What was happening to me? Oh boy, I've been working so much this week on the show that I'm doing the costumes for, called She Kills Monsters. It's this really, really lovely play kind of about like a sibling relationship and D&D and kind of like how we discover ourselves through the act of like creative play.
Yeah.
So what that means is that I essentially get to build demon horns, which means I spend most of my day like a hunched over goblin, like I have to get the copper lines correct, but more jewels on the headpiece. Anyway,
And so you have just lost your entire personhood.
I have.
And is the conclusion
every
of that.
single time I design a show, I just kind of sell my soul over to it, which is healthy.
Very good.
As Josi can attest, having seen me go through three design processes.
Quite a few design processes at this point, yeah. Either as your friend or partner. We're in love. It's the best. And this is a deep dive into Amazon book review culture. So let's get started.
Yeah.
It's time for From the Mouth of Babes, or
Oh no.
some other title that I don't know.
From the Babes of Mouth. Nope.
Okay. Moving on.
Sorry, I broke Josi. Apparently that one really got them. They're looking on their phone right now.
Just give me a second.
They're just gonna need to watch a few TikToks to feel better.
Just give me a TikTok or two.
Scroll on Twitter, just kind of like get into the doom scrolling a little bit so that the looming appearance of my horrible jokes doesn't hurt them too bad.
Okay. We're back. Hang on, give me a second.
Professional.
Anyway, this segment is where we take a look at the 100 children's books that you should read in your lifetime that the Amazon staff came up with. And I don't know the criteria except that they think you should read it.
Great.
And what I have brought is Alexander and the Terrible, Horrible, No Good, Very Bad Day.
Such a good one.
By Judith Viorst. So let's get into it, shall we?
I have such favorable sense memories of that book.
Yeah, no, it was in like a lot of my elementary school classrooms. So always went back to it.
I think what it is that like, because I was an over emotional child, like I was often just kind of in these feeling funks. And so I was like, I get it. Like nothing is good. I totally understand. And anyway, it's kind of amazing that it wasn't diagnosed as neurotypical sooner.
Neurodivergent.
That one.
Alexander knew it was going to be a terrible day when he woke up with gum in his hair. And it got worse.
How do you wake up with gum in your hair?
You go to bed chewing it.
Oh, there it is. Why do you go to bed chewing gum?
Because you're a child.
Is that relaxing? Is that something you did as a child?
I mean, it's just like I liked gum as a kid. I haven't chewed gum in so long.
It hurts my jaw. I feel like an 80-year-old woman.
Right
saying
around
that.
like I don't think I've chewed gum since like high school. That can't be true. That can't be true. I've chewed gum since then. Just not as
Not as
not as
prolifically.
competitively as I did in high school.
How do you chew gum competitively?
You know, like
do you have to like spit it out every few seconds and be like, I got it softer than you did. Feel mine.
No, it's like Violet Beauregard from Willy Wonka.
The first person to turn into a giant blueberry from their gum wins.
That's not what. She holds the world record for the longest gum chewing.
That's right.
That is literally a part of her character.
I'm sorry that I made the most absurd.
Roald Dahl really said what anything children like are evil.
Roald Dahl also said that TV has killed everyone in my family.
His best friend deserted him, Alexander, not Roald Dahl. There was no dessert in his lunch bag.
Oh,
That's
shoot.
just the worst. And on top of, actually, real quick, I, for about 2 school years, didn't pack my lunches. This is so terrible.
I didn't pack my lunches for a good long while. I rode that gravy train for as long as I could.
I was supposed to pack my lunches. I was in middle school, but I learned that I could just mooch off of my friends' paid school lunches, off the food that they didn't want, because my parents wouldn't pay for like school lunches except on Pizza Friday.
It makes sense.
No, it totally makes sense. But it did mean that I wasn't stealing. But I was
you were gaming the system?
I was being given food on the false pretense that I had no lunch when the truth was that I wasn't pretending to be poor. This is like the weirdest thing is I don't know how it worked. I just always would kind of like look sad around my friends and be like, I don't have a lunch today.
I have told you about how I convinced a friend that I lived in a box at the end of our driveway.
Oh no.
Yeah, I totally did that for at least a few days, to the point where she was like, you need to call CPS immediately. And I was like, it's not, this is not real.
Children tell the weirdest lies.
I truly was the
it's
worst.
Like Robert Pattinson level of just like offhand lies.
Bonkers lies.
And on top of all that, there were lima beans for dinner and kissing on TV. Which, Alexander,
me too.
I get it.
Same. Wow.
This handsome new edition of Judith Viorst's classic picture book is sure to charm readers of all ages. How's a book handsome? Chuck Tingle, get on that.
Ah, yes. Wow. That just. Oh.
Sean Connery.
Well, that book makes me go a full Sean Connery.
Oh, God. Carol gives 4 stars. Nice book. Got this in the mail. Alexa purchased it for me.
Were you just like, I'm having a bad day, and Alexa was like, I've got just the book for you.
Like, purchased it for me. Unless Carol has a relative named Alexa. And Carol thinks we must know them. Carol continues, I'll save it for the Little Readers Club. The story reminds me of pitiful days at work.
It sounds like she needed that. It sounds like something that was needed in their day.
Amazon customer gives 2 stars. Such a negative book. Bought a Xmas present. Well, we all know what that stands for my 6-year-old cousin, but free reading it, I couldn't give it to him. Wanted to return it. They gave me a refund and didn't want the item back. So now I have the book, and I think I'm just gonna throw it away, because no child should read such a negative Nancy book. This person is like the ones who, like, I want to know why they didn't want the book back, is my question.
I don't know what's happened to that.
We will refund you, but
sometimes, and not to get too technical about it, like sometimes what it is that the cost of the return shipping isn't worth the return of the book.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense. Because you're essentially, yeah. TLH gives 1 star. Don't waste your money on this one.
Same.
What a sad commentary on a child's book this is. No.
What?
My husband read it and couldn't believe the stupidity of the story.
Wow, it's almost like children's books aren't frickin' Shakespeare.
I thought he must be...
Shakespeare isn't frickin' Shakespeare.
Yeah, I do enjoy that Shakespeare, who just wrote, I mean, some of the good
Silly
references,
butt jokes.
but silly butt jokes all throughout it. Also, just a lot of dick jokes.
So many
too.
dick jokes.
Eat my leek. I thought he must be wrong, as it came highly recommended. Then I read it, and my husband was right. It's just stupid. It's about a cranky little boy who just wants to be miserable. This author is not impressive if this is a good example of her writing talent. I don't see any writing talent at all. Just a big price tag for the book.
I think, and like this is such a criminal underselling of this book, because I think there are so many books where it's like, this is cheery charisma and she's happy to be here, and like, be happy when all the things happen to you. And there are so few books that like empathize that like sometimes children just have bad days, and I think it's important. Getting off my high horse.
ESB gives 5 stars. Great for cheering people up. I think this is so cute. We pass this around the office as an award for the person who has had the crappiest day or week. A lovely pick-me-up. And I think that's such a cute office tradition.
That's really sweet.
This is just like, hey, we know you had a bad day. Here's the bad day book. And I think that's just adorable.
That is very nice.
We
could use one of those at my workplace, except it would just go to the same 3 people.
Jason Hooker gives 4 stars. My son wanted me to buy this book after watching the movie, which I didn't know it was made into a movie.
That's interesting.
I thought I remembered the book from my childhood. I didn't remember how short it actually was. Looking back, I'm surprised they made a full movie out of it. Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs, Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs 2.
God, I hated it so much.
It's such a bad movie. I feel this is one of those that is just a timeless children's classic. There's another 1 star that's essentially just, this is very depressing, except it was a 6-year-old who thought it was too depressing, and the parent says 1 star, therefore.
Oh.
But Gail gives 4 stars. And the subject of
I feel
Gail's
like any child
review
that's
is
like
4 stars. Oh, sorry.
I feel like any child who's like, this is depressing, mama, and I don't like it, is gonna grow up to be like, I like somebody who is not like me, in that like I intentionally seek out sad movies when I'm having a bad day, just so I can feel so sad that like finally like the dam breaks. I feel catharsis finally.
Yeah, it's very, like you said, catharsis. It's very Aristotelian. It's all about, purging your own negative
Alexander
emotions.
and the No Good Very Bad Day is Aristotelian in nature.
There we go. But sorry. Gail gives 4 stars, and the subject of the review is 4 stars. Bought this book for my grandson, Alex. Enough said. Smiley face after that. Just very, very, very proud of yourself, aren't you,
4 stars for
Gail?
my grandson, Alex.
That's all that
He's
this
my
review
4-star
needs.
grandchild.
And I take great ire with this, Gail, because it's not enough said. You didn't explain your 4-star review. You have to corroborate.
I think Gail was more pleased with the way that it was the way the gift was delivered than the actual gift itself. And honestly, I think that's indicative of the problems that we have in America.
That's a good point. This is a hard-hitting podcast about the real issues in America. So thank you for pointing out that is the real problem right now. And if you want to not think about some of your problems, maybe listen to these ads and buy things to make you happy.
Capitalism will make you happier.
Healthy.
Nope.
Boop, 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 boop.
Wah!
Hey, what's up, y'all? It's Jasmine with the New Black Collective.
And what's up? It's Davey R from Change Waco.
Don't forget to subscribe to Stories of the Streets, where we'll be here every other week, bringing you expert stories and also stories from local Wacoans.
Stories of the Streets in association with The New Black Collective, Change Waco, and Rogue Media. Tell your friends, tell your family, shout it to the streets, tune in as much as y'all can.
Hey everyone, it's Josi and Becca coming at you with a normal ad for normal people. Looking for a job? Check out ResWrite. ResWrite offers resumes, cover letters, and LinkedIn profiles for individuals searching for new opportunities. Resumes start at just $30. Check out reswrite.com for more info and use my code ResWriteRMN10 for 10% off all services.
ResWrite is an online career service that provides both education and career counseling for college students, young professionals, and mid-career job seekers.
ResWrite offers a professional resume writing service that helps individuals find employment in various industries, including finance and accounting, business, engineering, hospitality, human resources, information technology, marketing, etc.
ResWrite also offers a college essay editing service for those seeking admission into top colleges and universities. ResWrite's goal is to ensure applicants enhance their profile to successfully gain acceptance into competitive schools.
Their mission is to help you introduce your personal narrative to prospective audiences in the most effective way possible. So again, go ahead and check out reswrite.com. That's ResRite.com for more info, and use the code ResWriteRMN10. So that'll be ResRiteRMN10 for 10% off all services.
Woohoo!
ResWrite, it's right for your res.
Yikes. Hello, we're back. I hope that you feel better after taking that baby break from us and how awkward and uncomfortable we are. We're trying our best not to be this way.
All the time.
We will be, sorry.
Well, Becca, it's time for Where Are They Now?
Where are they now?
Where Are They Now? In which we look at a book that an author that we know well has written.
Where did they come from? Where did they go?
I-
Sorry. I, for some reason, had Cotton Eye Joe in my heart and soul and needed to
All
share it.
right. So this book by Cotton Eye Joe, Becca will be guessing the actual author. It is called Career of Evil.
Career of Evil. Okay, so this is a book about... Oh god, I was going to make a very funny joke about the evil billionaire man, but then I forgot his name.
Which one?
That's such a good point.
Jeff Bezos?
It wasn't Jeff
Elon
Bezos.
Musk?
It was Elon Musk.
Yeah.
I saw his slimy face and my brain decided to forget.
Well, that's... He's like the silence, yeah.
I wish Elon Musk were like the silence. I'd love to forget what he looks like.
No description for this. We're just gonna jump right into the reviews, and you're gonna get it from there.
Great.
Michael Haywood gives 1 star. I tried.
Good for you, Michael Hayward.
In a nutshell, the duo gets sent a severed leg, assemble a list of
What?
suspects, and
What?
work down the list until they find the person responsible. And just to give an idea of how slow the freaking pace is in this book, I got nearly 25% into the book before Strike even starts investigating the first suspect.
Strike.
Yes, the main character's name is Cormoran Strike.
Cormoran?
Cormoran, like the bird. Cormoran Strike.
Isn't cormorant? Is that not how you say that word?
Oh, it doesn't end with a D, so I guess like the bird, but without the D.
Cormoran. Cormoran beef hash, please, for breakfast.
Up until the point that Strike starts investigating, it's really just filler involving Strike's history with his stepdad and Robin still dealing with the wedding.
Cormoran and Robin.
It's boring.
The best duo in history. He's the best detective in the world, and Robin is planning the
A
wedding.
sidekick or something. Nothing really happens, and it just fails to keep you even remotely interested. And I will say that I found Robin's college backstory in really bad taste.
Oh.
Such a pointless addition, and
Ugh.
IDK if it was an attempt to make us more sympathetic with her or whatever, but it was just distasteful.
Robin.
So, F. Moyer gives 3 stars. Do you have a guess who this is? None? Yeah, no, don't worry. We'll we'll see.
Don't. Because I'm assuming you wouldn't bring this to me if it were someone who were known for their detective novels.
Mm-hmm.
So.
I mean, I did bring you a Grisham.
I guess that's true.
Mm-hmm.
Is it Grisham?
No, it's not.
Is it James Patterson?
No. F. Moyer gives 3 stars. Needy Robin, tired Cormoran. I liked the first book in this series, The Cuckoo's Calling, as Cormoran was knowledgeable. Oh, do you know it already? Do you know the first one? Okay. And intuitive, but flawed, and Robin was clever and enthusiastic, but inexperienced. So they complemented each other. The second book in the series, The Silkworm, was also good.
What? There was a second after that one?
Yeah, no, this is the third. But there was less of Robin, and I missed her presence. In this third book, Career of Evil, the book is as much about Robin as it is about Cormoran, which is pretty amazing given that all the main suspects were enemies from Cormoran's past. Who is it?
Cuckoo's Calling is J.K. Rowling's fake book, yeah?
That's correct. It's by Robert Galbraith, the fake name that Galbraith, the
Wow,
fake
this is
name
just
that known transphobe J.K. Rowling.
Unfortunately.
No, actually, when you brought up Chuck Tingle's parody, I was like, oh, this is very convenient. Because now the rest of my segment is going to be about, hey, everyone, don't read J.K. Rowling's shit. Not only has she doubled down on her transphobia, she's now written an explicitly transphobic book.
So I never read any of the pen name stuff because, like,
I heard it was garbage.
I heard that from I'm assuming the same source you did.
Probably.
Because I remember one of my friends reading it, and I asked if it was any good, and they were resoundingly on the side of no. But mainly I thought it was because it was like a beachside novel. Like I thought Rowling had branched out into like beachy setting things with tragic pasts.
No, it's just full on.
It's murder mystery.
Murder mystery.
I guess like I can't fault. I mean, I guess like I can't fault Rowling for changing the genre that she writes into. But because like she barely handled Harry Potter in its later iterations, so
a huge part of J.K. Rowling is the consistent returning back to the original source, which already had its own issues, and essentially trying to retcon, kind of the progressiveness into it, and ultimately just kept making it worse. And I could have a whole show about why it's bad and why she's bad.
She's so evil.
But let's listen to what Lynn Moorhead has to say. 5 stars. Brilliantly written detective series.
A directive.
It's a directive series. It is a must-read and cannot put down read.
Oh, wow.
It's as brilliantly written as the first 2, but even more so. That's not how words work.
You could just say, like, sometimes I wonder, I love the lack of economy of words, and like you could just say it's more brilliantly written than the first 2, rather than why?
Do you want to know why it's more brilliant than the first 2?
Oh God, tell me.
It capitalizes.
Does it put more transphobia in it? Is it like Chick-fil-A? Like the more homophobia it gets in it, the more delicious it is.
Tastier. No, it capitalizes on the story already told in the first 2 in the series.
Oh wow!
It's a sequel. It's the next book.
Holy shit! A sequel going back to the original content again?
Carrying on the same story.
Listen, everyone knows that the more you repeat information, it becomes like wine and just ages.
You don't have to have read the first 2 books to enjoy this one, but I would highly recommend reading them in sequence. You will pick up little nuances of the storyline by having read each of the first 2 in sequence.
Like how sequels
Like how
work?
a book series works, like how a book series where
it's less
following
confusing
up,
when you start
when
at
you
the
know
beginning.
what the story is. It's a very good place to start. I would love to see these turned into series of movies or even a TV series.
Oh God, that would be unfucking bearable.
I think this has the potential to be as big a success as the Harry Potter series, though obviously for a more mature audience. However, I also love the Harry Potter series, and I'm obviously not the target demographic
children
for those
even read
novels.
Harry Potter anymore?
They
or is it just
don't.
like people in our generation yelling in a can, being like, please, I love it so much. And then now most of us are like, God, we can't do that anymore because J.K. Rowling is a shithead.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's just a perfect example of, like, you know, what I kind of think of as, like, the cult of personality that rises out of, like, book series and their authors. Given the more adult nature of the subject matter of
Dude.
these books, I completely understand the reasoning behind writing with a pseudonym to delay their discovery by the core audience of the Harry Potter series.
Like, the core
we all
audience
knew,
are
though,
people.
right? Like, we all knew. Like, didn't she
Yeah,
explicitly
she released
say,
it like pretty immediately.
I'm
like,
gonna be writing
think
these things?
The Robert Galbraith book got released, and then like we knew J.K. Rowling was writing under a pen name, and I feel like within the month it was released because otherwise these books just wouldn't sell. They wouldn't sell.
No, they really couldn't. Not at all. And so that's Where Are They Now? A little bit belated because J.K. Rowling has recently come out with
An even more
just
transphobic
explicitly transphobic book.
And Islamophobic.
And Islamophobic, which is important to note as well. So that's where she is.
Where
right
is she now really writing an unfortunate series of, and by unfortunate I do mean like the worst series of manifestos on Twitter.
Oh, it's really true.
I saw a Twitter thread from MJ Rodriguez today.
Yeah.
And essentially, like, one of the things that she said was, like, I am so heartbroken. Like, when I was a young actor, like, I kept imagining myself, like, acting next
With
to...
like Daniel Radcliffe and Emma Watson.
And, like, now she essentially feels like how she feels with her, like, you know, relatives. And essentially, like... I have to just distance myself from you.
And this is kind of what happens in these like parasocial relationships that we allow ourselves to get into with authors, you know, like and
but
healthy
I
or
also
not,
understand,
you know,
like you know, we develop connection. Like I would never claim that I know any of like the most beloved books, like from my from favorite authors or whatever. But like I think there's so much truth in like this book got me through hard times.
Oh yeah. Well, and you know, we have an episode titled, you know, Notice Me Senpai McElroy
Truly.
after my own quote. So, you know, I'm not saying that it is it always like this unhealthy, but it is this thing that becomes really, really difficult when those people fail us, you know, and when we put so much of our emotion not just in their work, but also kind of in their celebrity.
This has been a very uplifting and not very sad
this is a great comedy podcast.
Oh, God.
But I don't know. She's a big author, and it's important, I think, to talk about it in our podcast about books.
I agree.
And how we receive them, you know,
and how we receive them.
Oh wow, it's getting so deep here in the studio.
I have a very strong memory, and I think this is funny. I hope this is funny.
I'm gonna try to course correct now, so I'm gonna say something funny. Shut up.
No, but seriously, I have a very strong memory of when the 7th book came out, and of course we were all so very excited, only to be super disappointed by the end, at least for some of us. But I got the book in the mail right before we went off to the minor league baseball games that my family attended. Yes. And when I got the book, one of the rules for the Major League Baseball games was that I could sit in the stands and I could watch the game, and I had to watch the baseball game until the 5th inning, at which point I could start reading. I often get bored because like, you know, baseball's fun and I like being at those minor league baseball games, but like it was hard because sometimes you get focused on a book and you just want to read it, you know, and it becomes your life. And I was sitting in the stands and there was a girl 2 rows in front of me who was like 5 chapters in. And I was like, Skip, it's right there. Skippy, I can read it. And Skip was like, you can't read it until the 5th inning. And so she kept going, and she was like in chapter 13, and I was like, I could maybe beat her. I read fast enough.
Oh, no.
I could beat her by the end of the game. I could do it. And it was like so bad. I was sitting there with the book in my lap, just like watching the game, like, get him out, get him out, get him out. I don't care. I don't care who wins this game. I don't care if it's our team or the other team. You just need to strike each other out so quickly. And like it was truly tragic. And then Skip was like, by the 4th inning, he was just kind of like, are you enjoying the game? And I was like, no, I need to read the book, please. And then I was allowed to read the book, and it was great.
Nice. That
was that funny?
It was good. I liked it. I lost track of myself because I forgot the book. So this is the point in the episode where
you run outside and grab it.
Mike's gonna do some magic and make it seem like this is all happening at the same time.
Go.
And it's like nothing ever happened. We have one physical component.
One singular component.
One single physical object that we need for our podcast.
So thank you so much for listening to the By the Cover podcast.
A good podcast for fun people.
If you would like to drop us a review, preferably a 5-star review, on Stitcher or Apple Podcast, we will read it on the podcast. This is an opportunity to blast kind of whatever you want, because we will read it.
Yeah, we'll just say a thing.
Especially if it's 5 stars, but we're not above criticism, as Josi is fond of saying. We're really grateful to be part of the Rogue Media Network family. There's a lot of great shows.
A lot of great shows to check out.
So please do that. Thank you so much to They Might Be Giants. I'm really getting through this for you.
We just got to do it. I'm just kind of staring.
Thank you to They Might Be Giants for letting us use their song, Don't Let's Start. It's a great song. We're really lucky to get to use it. As Josi is also fond of saying, because they usually say this part of the show. I don't know why I'm suddenly doing it. I'm feeling very sweaty and nervous about it.
And also big thanks to our producer, Mike, for listening to us make some goofs and then editing those goofs into a
something
podcast.
Comprehensible. And now for
the Dark Horse Devotional.
The bi-weekly devotional. Well, I guess we're not bi-weekly anymore.
Oh yeah, we're moving to a weekly show, aren't we? How fun.
Can we do the Daily Dark Horse? We can't, because it's not every day. I just really want the D.
You just, yeah?
No, wait. Shoot.
From page 30.
Mom, my mace.
from page 30 of Dark Horse by Tammy Hogue.
Tammy Hogue.
Oh, this has been Josi and Becca.
I've been Becca. Becca? I can't even say my own name.
Should show more respect. Or does that just prove how stupid?
Me too.
Now, Myra. Get us out of here.
You're out of here.
This has been Rogue Media Network Podcast.